So still on sequence, we say that a sequence this is said to be banded if it is banded above and banded below. So we are under banded sequence. So we have considered convergence of sequence. So this banded sequence definition is similar to the banded set. Remember that we say that if S is a set, then it is banded if you have this. So if an is a sequence, if it is banded, then there is a real number m such that absolute value of m is less than absolute value of the sequence is less than equal to m. So it is just similar to the other one. So a theorem that is close to this is this: every convergent sequence is banded. So the proof of it, we say that every convergent sequence is banded. Now suppose that sequence this converges to, let's say, L, then by definition here we assume that is convergent. So by definition we say that if for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists n greater than, there exists this capital letter N, such that absolute value of an minus L is less than epsilon for all n is greater than this capital letter N. If you look at this, you will see that it looks like the definition of banded. That is why we said every convergent sequence is banded. So we will have concluded, because of what we get here, that is convergent, but we can't conclude that. Let us expand it first. Here we know that by inequality that we have treated, this will be less than an minus L is less than this, which is same thing as this, plus L is less than an is less than epsilon plus L. In fact, this an is banded above and banded below, but we cannot conclude like that. So what we do is that in order for this thing, for this to be defined in this, before we can say that it is banded, it has to be defined in this place. So in that case, we need to add this to the upper bound of the sequence. What is the sequence? The sequence is this. So in that case, we are going to add this to the upper bound of the sequence. So let us say that the upper bound will be the maximum of this, a1, a2, an, epsilon plus L. So that will be the upper bound. So we are going to add this to the upper bound of this, and the lower bound will be the minimum. So we add this onto the lower bound, minus L plus this. So a1, a2, up to an and to infinity like that. So in that case, we can redefine this. So we can redefine 1 as lower band. These are, you can see these are lower band. It's less than an, it's less than upper band. So this is our upper band here. It's less than u. So hence we see that hence the sequences is banded, since it has upper band and it has lower band. So thus we can see that every convergent sequence is banded. So this sequence is converges. We assume it converges. So definitely it is banded. So and that completes the proof. So another part of sequence, the interesting part of sequence, one of the interesting part of sequence is monotone sequence. So we say that a sequence is said to be strictly increasing if an is less than an plus 1. For instance, let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So this is monotone. This is strictly increasing. So, but if an is less than or equal to an plus 1, then we say that it's monotonic increasing. So this one is monotone strictly increasing sequence because it is increasing. But if it is less than or equal to, but they are still going far, then we say that it is monotonic increasing. But if it is greater, so for instance, we have 4, 3, 2, 1, and so on like that, then we say that the sequence is this is it here, is strictly decreasing. And if it is greater than or equal to, then it is monotonic decreasing. So in that case, we cannot define monotonic. So any sequence that is increasing or decreasing, this is increasing. Strictly, we say that this one is strictly increasing. This one is just increasing. This one is just decreasing. But this one is decreasing. Now, any sequence that is either decreasing or increasing is said to be monotonic sequence. This is it here. Any sequence that is either increasing or decreasing is said to be monotone sequence. So we have the following examples. We have example here. A sequence this, the sequence n will run from 1 to infinity. 1, 2, 3. So this sequence is strictly increasing. But if you look at this, when n is 1, when n is 2, when n is 3, we have all this. So this one is strictly decreasing. So a constant sequence k, this is constant sequence. Let's say you have 2, 2, 2, 2, or 3, 3, or any number like that. That is why we put k here. We say that it's both decreasing and increasing. But if you look at this sequence, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, it's not decreasing, it's not increasing. So this is neither decreasing or decreasing. So any sequence that is neither decreasing or increasing, so we call it an oscillatory sequence. So this is an oscillatory sequence. But we say that if sequence is either decreasing or increasing, it's monotone sequence. And then if it is neither nor, then we say that it is an oscillatory sequence. Here we consider condition for monotonic sequence. So sufficient condition for monotonic sequence. So that is to show that a sequence is monotone. So we consider the following. Number 1, this sequence is increasing if an plus 1 is greater than an, or an, just like what we have defined. If you bring this one in, is greater than 0. If you divide both sides by n, we are going to have this. So this is a condition. If you are to show that a sequence is monotone, then we need to get either of these three. So a monotonic increasing. So for decreasing, an plus 1 must be less than an, or an plus 1 minus an must be less than 0, or an plus 1 divided by an must be less than 1. Just divide both sides by. Everything is still from this place. And if you go by calculus, we say that it's increasing if the derivative of that sequence is greater than or equal to 0. It is decreasing if the derivative is less than or equal to 0. So these are the conditions to show that a sequence is monotone. Now let's take an example. We want to determine whether or not the following sequence is decreasing or increasing. So the first one, let's consider this. So we want to check whether it's increasing or decreasing. So here, our an is equal to 2n plus 1 over this. Definitely our an plus 1, that is, anywhere you see n, put it as n plus 1. This will be 2 into n plus 1 over, this one will be n plus 1 plus 1. And this should give me 2n plus 3 over n plus 2. So from this place now, if you find that, let's find an over an plus 1 over an. So this will be 2n plus 3 over n plus 2. This is our an plus 1. Divided by an, this is our an. If you turn that division to multiplication, this will go up, this will come down. That is n plus 1 over 2n plus 1. So you observe that this thing is greater than, should be greater than 1. So for every positive integer n, so you see that it's greater than 1. So if you put any value there, you see that the value must always be greater than 1. So for instance, if you put n to be 0, this is 3 over 2 times 1. 3 over 2 times 1 is greater than 1. If you put n is equal to 1 like that, if you put your n to be equal, you see that every answer you get will always be greater than 1. So in that case, since it's greater than 1, the sequence, we can say that the sequence is monotonic increasing. For the second one, let's consider sequence this. So I will apply calculus for this one. So here our f of n is equal to n over exponential n. So in this case, if you find the derivative, so you need to learn that, or you should have known this in calculus. When you apply product rule or quotient rule and simplify, you will get this. So you will now see that this thing will be less than 0. But for every value of n, n is 1 to infinity. If you put n to be it will be less than or equal to 0 for every n, for every positive integer n. Because what we are told is that f prime must be less than or equal to 0. If you put n to be 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. 0, this is 0. 2. 1 minus 2 will give me negative. So whatever this one will give me, it will be less than 0. If n is 3, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So it will always be negative. So in that case, since it's less than or equal to 0 there, we can say that therefore that sequence this is decreasing, or we say it's monotonic decreasing. So we conclude that it's decreasing. Now let's consider this theorem. The theorem says that if this sequence is a bounded sequence and an increasing sequence, then this limit, this limit will be limit of n tends to infinity. It will be equal to the limit of the sequence will be equal to supremum of the sequence. Now, so let's prove the theorem. So we know that since this sequence is bounded, so definitely by completeness of axioms, there must exist a supremum there. So that is it. That is, if this sequence, the question says if it is bounded. So that's how we started the proof by since the sequence is bounded, then by completeness axiom. We know that by completeness axiom, it says that every bounded sequence, every sequence that is bounded above and bounded below must have supremum or infimum in it. Now, it is bounded, definitely it must have a supremum. So that is, so there exists a real number m such that Sn is less than or equal to m. If you remember, that is how we define our, so that is how we define our our supremum of a set. If you remember. Now, so let's represent A as a supremum. Let's write it like this: supremum, which is same thing as which is written as sup Sn. So we want to represent A by it because of what we have here. So let us represent A to be the supremum of Sn. So then, if you pick any small number at all, epsilon is greater than 0. So then, any small epsilon is greater than 0. A plus epsilon will be an upper bound. But A minus epsilon will never be an upper bound. as we have known that if you remove it like this, it will not be an upper bound. Will not be an upper bound. So what this simply means is that we have said that A is a supremum, which means the least of all the upper bound. So if you add any number epsilon to it, it will be an upper bound. The A is a supremum. Is just the smallest of all the upper bound. So definitely if you add anything to it, it will be an upper bound. The difference between upper bound and supremum. Supremum is the smallest of all the upper bound. Now if you go and remove it, definitely it will not be an upper bound. So, and it's a sequence. So that means that for every, let's say, if you pick a sequence in this, another terms of this sequence like this, something like this. Let's say we have 4, 5, 6. If you pick another term here, so that is why I express it as Sn. So for every this, we will know that A minus epsilon must be less than Sn, because it will not be an upper bound. You know, if it is an upper bound, it will be Sn is less than or equal to this. It must be so. Now, since this sequence is an increasing sequence, from this place we say it's a bounded and increasing sequence, then we can have the following. So since it's an increasing sequence, we have the following. So we should have A minus epsilon is less than Xn. So we know that Xn is less than this one because we just pick this one from this place. This one will be, we know it's less than A already, and also A is less than A plus epsilon, the one we have added, because here we have said that Sn will be less than M, while M is an upper bound. So if we add A to the supremum, we said that A is supremum. So if we add any value to the supremum, it will be an upper bound. Supremum is the smallest of all of them. So that is this why we add something to it, like this epsilon. So by transitive law, we can write it as this is less than Xn is less than A plus epsilon. So we can just pick some of this. If we have this thing simply means minus epsilon is less than this, is less than epsilon. So we brought in A to the something. So, and this simply means that S minus this is less than epsilon. So this is for every n is greater than this. So if you look at this is a definition of convergence of sequence. And remember, when we define convergence of sequence, we say that when we have it like this simply means that limit of the sequence, we are using A and the other time I'm using Sn now, it will be equal to, we are using L, this is now A, it will be equal to A. So which simply means that limit of the sequence Sn will be equal to A. And we have said that A is we have let A to be supremum of Xn. So which simply means limit Xn in the short form is supremum Xn. So, and that completes the proof. So let's consider another theorem. We have the theorem. If a sequence is bounded and decreasing, then the limit of the sequence is also equal to the infimum of such sequence. So what that simply means, we can prove this using our style of proof. It's just like the supremum that we just proved now. So the proof is left as exercise, but it's a simple proof. If you recall that Sn, the limit of Sn is supremum of Sn. If we put minus to the Sn, this is supremum of minus Sn. So this is let me bring the minus out. Limit xn is equal to, remember, supremum of negative will be minus infimum of the something. So this cancels each other. So we can say that limit of Sn is infimum of Sn. And that completes the proof of the theorem. Another important theorem on the monotony sequence. We call it a monotone convergence theorem. So the theorem says that a monotone sequence of real number is convergent if and only if it is bounded. So we have proved this theorem. This is if and only if. You have to prove it in two ways. That is, we first need to show that a sequence is bounded. That is, if Sn converges, then we show that it is bounded. Also, we will need to show conversely that if Sn is bounded, then it is convergent. That is the meaning of if and only if. So if the sequence converges, then it is bounded. If it's bounded, and it must also be convergent. Thank God we have shown. So the proof of it, since every convergent sequence is bounded, then the proof completes, because we have shown before, we have proved it. We have proved this one at the start of this video, that every convergent sequence is bounded. So we have proven this. Now the second one is, if it is bounded, then it is convergent. Remember, we proved the following in our last two theorems. We proved the following, that, okay, let's say conversely, if Sn is bounded, then it is convergent. This is convergent. So we want to show that it is convergent. But we have proved that a monotone bounded sequence converges. So if you remember, we prove it here, that if this sequence is bounded increasing sequence, any sequence that is increasing means it's a monotone or decreasing. Then the limit, this thing is equal to supremum. So this thing simply means bounded. If the limit can be equal to a value, supremum is a value here. So if this limit ascending to infinity can be equal to a certain thing, so this is definition of convergence, which we even show here, that it converges. Remember, we showed that this thing converges when we were proving our theorem. Showed it here. This definition of bounded. So since the sequence, the limit of the sequence tends to a certain value, although it's a supremum but it's a value, then it means it's bounded. So we also do the same thing for decreasing. So it is bounded as well, because the limit tends to something. So we have shown that is a proof. If they ask you to prove the state and prove the monotone convergence, this is the proof. The first one, we have shown that every convergent sequence is bounded. So we first need to show that. Secondly, we need to show the two theorems that I showed now. So that will prove the monotone convergence theorem. So we'll meet in our next class, where we are going to consider, in our next class